Okay, are you ready for Act 4, Scene 2? So we're going to switch over to some of the bad guys. So we are right in front of their house. So we switched from being at Gloucester's house, and now Goneril went home, and we're at Goneril's house. Welcome, my lord. I marvel our mild husband not met us on the way. Now, where's your master? Madame, within, but never man so changed. I told him of the army that was landing. He smiled at it. I told him you were coming. His answer was the worst. Of Gloucester's treachery and the loyal service of his son, when I informed him, he called me sot and told me I had turned the wrong side out. What most he should dislike seems pleasant to him. What like? Offensive. Then you shall go no further. It is the cowish terror of his spirit. He dares not undertake. He'll not feel wrongs which tie him to an answer. Our wishes on the way may prove effects. So she's saying he just doesn't want to commit himself, that he's a coward, and that's why he is refusing to recognize how good this plan is going. If you remember, when we saw Albany last, he did not like the way that Goneril was talking to her father, but he didn't stand up for King Lear. He waited until Lear left, and then he turned to his wife and said, well, that was just really rude. You shouldn't have done that. So he seems to have a sense of right and wrong. He just doesn't stand up for what's right. And so Goneril takes it as he's spineless. So he's not going to stand up for what I want. So just ignore him. Don't worry about him. Back, Edmund, to my brother. Hasten his musters and conduct his powers. I must change arms at home and give the distaff into my husband's hand. This trusty servant shall pass between us. Ere long, you are like to hear, if you dare venture in your own behalf, a mistress's command. Wear this, spare speech. Decline your head, this kiss, if it durst speak, would stretch thy spirits into the air. Conceive and fare thee well. Oh, yeah. Yep, she is totally sleeping with Edmund at this point. And talks about her husband having no spine at the same time that she says, hey, you're going to be the other half of my plan now, right? And we'll use Oswald as the messenger between us. So she's decided that if her husband is not going to kind of help her go to war against her own father, she's found a man who will. Now, I will say this. In the analysis post, it talks about how this is proof that these two are incapable of ruling because they're putting their energies into an affair. I can't say I agree with that because, trust me, in history, lots of English kings ruled England while having affairs, while having multiple affairs with multiple people all at the same time, and they still managed to rule. However, these two sleeping together, it's just creepy. Really creepy and evil. Sorry. Conceive and fare thee well. Yours in the ranks of death. My dear Gloucester. Oh, the difference of a man and man. To thee a woman's services are due. My fool usurps my body. My husband is a fool, so, if I sleep with him, he is usurping my body. He's taking it over against my will because you are the real man, Edmund. And he's not even in the room to hear the compliment, so clearly she means that. Which, again, kind of creepy. Madame, here comes my lord. I have been worth the whistle. Oh, Goneril, You are not worth the dust which the rude wind blows in your face. I fear your disposition. That nature which condemns its origin cannot be bordered certain in itself. She that herself will silver and disbranch from her material sap, perforce must wither and come to deadly use. He says, "Oh, Goneril, you're a branch, and you are threatening to cut off the tree that gave you nourishment, the sap. And if you cut off the tree, you are the branch, and you are going to fall with that tree." So he's basically saying, you got to back off this plot against King Lear, and you better take care of your father, because if your father goes down, so will you. No more. The text is foolish. Wisdom and goodness to the vile seem vile. Filth savor but themselves. What have you done? Tigers, not daughters. What have you performed? A father and a gracious aged man, whose reverence even the head-lugged bear would lick. Most barbarous, most degenerate. Have you madded? Could my good brother suffer you to do it? A man, a prince by himself, so benefited that if the heavens do not their visible spirit send down to tame these vile offenses, it will come. Humanity must perforce prey on itself like monsters of the deep. The gods themselves are going to get you. So she was saying that Albany didn't have a spine, but he appears to have grown one since she left, because, yeah, he is taking her to task. Milk-livered man, that bearest a cheek for blows, a head for wrongs. Who has not in thy brows an eye discerning thine honor from thy suffering, that not knowest? Fools do these villains pity who are punished ere they have done their mischief. Where's thy drum? France spreads his banners in our noiseless land. With plumed helm thy slayer begins threats, whilst thou, a mortal fool, sit still and cry, "Alack, why does he so?" See thyself, devil. Proper deformity seems not in the fiend so horrid as in woman. Okay, Albany, would you maybe like to insult her specifically and not like women in general? Because her, yeah, she's worse than a fiend, but women in general, back off there, buddy. Oh, vain fool. Thou changed and self-covering thing, for shame, be monster, not thy feature. Were it my fitness to let these hands obey my blood, they are apt enough to dislocate and tear thy flesh and bones. However, thou art a fiend, a woman's shape doth shield thee. Marry your manhood now. Here comes the messenger. What news? Oh, my good lord, the Duke of Cornwall's dead, slain by his servant, going to put out the other eye of Gloucester. Oh, dear. Remember the last time we saw these two? She ran the servant through the back, but he was so injured that he was leaning on her arm as they left the room. He died. So, bye-bye, Duke of Cornwall. Couldn't have happened to a nicer person. Regan is now a widow. Gloucester's eye? Yeah. Apparently nobody's telling him the news. Yes, Gloucester is blind. The rest of us knew that, Albany, so yeah. A servant that he bred, thrilled with remorse, opposed against the act, bending his sword to his great master, who, thereat enraged, flew on him, and amongst them felled him dead, but not without that harmful stroke which since hath plucked him after This shows you are above, you justicers, that neither that our nether crime so speedily can venge. Oh, gods, you got him. Good for you, gods, because, yeah. But, oh, poor Gloucester. Lost he his other eye? Both, my lord. This letter, madame, craves a speedy answer. 'Tis from your sister. One way I like this well, but being widow, and my Gloucester with her, may all the building in my fancy pluck up my hateful life. Another way, the news is not so tart. I'll read and answer. Ooh, I like this because we got rid of Cornwall, which tells you she's planning on trying to take over all of England herself. So she likes getting rid of the Duke of Cornwall. But she doesn't like that Regan is alone and with Gloucester. Now, you might be like, well, why Gloucester's like out wandering in the heath and planning on killing himself? That's not the Gloucester Goneril is talking about. She doesn't like that the new Earl of Gloucester is going to be in the same house with Regan. Yeah, she is concerned that she may not be the only one that likes this kind of hot stuff. So when she talks about Gloucester and her concerns, that's what she's talking about. The news is not so tart. I'll read and answer. Where was his son when they did take his eyes? Come with my lady hither. He is not here. No, my good lord, I met him back again. Knows he the wickedness? Ay, my good lord, 'twas he informed against him, and quit the house on purpose, that their punishment might have the freer course. Yeah, totally. Edmund knew. Heck, he's the one who informed on him. He left so they wouldn't feel bad about, tearing his father's eyes out in front of him. Not that he had a problem with it. No problem. Gloucester, I live to thank thee for the love thou showest the king, and to revenge thine eyes. So when he's talking Gloucester, he's talking the old man. He's like, ooh, I'm going to revenge you. Come hither, friend, and tell me what more thou knowest. Oh, this was an important act. Albany, before, really let his wife have free reign, never tried to stop her. In fact, even when she did really crappy things in front of him, he waited until they were alone to kind of in private say, oh, honey, that wasn't cool. But now, oh, he's calling her a demon. He's telling her that she is worth less than the dust that blows through the airs. He tells her, if it weren't for the fact that you're a woman, I would rip you to shreds and I would kill you because you're evil. But since you are a woman, I'm going to hope that the gods get you. Wow. Albany clearly has a little bit more of a moral center than, anyone else in these two families, the Cornwalls and the Albanys. So we're going to have to see how that ends up.